Hey everyone, it's Olivia Grace. I'm back with another video for you guys. It's been a while, I've missed you guys, but I got some good stuff coming for you. Today I'm talking about relationships and what is the number one killer of relationships, how to avoid that and just make it better. And this is for good, healthy, solid relationships. If your relationship is toxic, that's your problem, and not really much you can do about being in a toxic relationship except for getting out of it. But when you are in a good relationship, of course, you still have problems, you can still have issues, you can still have things that break you up, even if you necessarily don't need to be breaking up. And one of those things is communication. Communication is key, and unfortunately, women and men communicate in opposite ways. Women are very subtle in their communications, not very straightforward, kind of want you to read our mind, kind of are even confused about what we really think or what we really want, but want the opposite sex to know. Whereas men are very direct. They're not good at picking up on hints. They're not good at picking up on subtle things, which makes it even worse because that's kind of the way that women communicate. So when you find yourself in a disagreement with your mate or your partner, the first thing that you want to do is to listen closely. And that sounds obvious, whatever. Of course you're listening, but many people listen to respond. They don't listen to understand. So this means that you're listening to your partner talk and you're just listening, and all you're doing is thinking, okay, well, when they're done talking, this is what I'm going to say. And oh, well, they're wrong about that. And oh, well, this is wrong. And you're just, picking apart everything they're saying rather than listening to what they're actually saying and listening to what they feel. Because even if what they're saying is wrong, quote unquote, which wrong is just a perspective, wrong, there's no universal wrong. It might be wrong to you because you don't agree with it, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means that they see it differently than you. But even if that's wrong, their feeling about it is still valid and still deserves to be heard. Especially if you want to stay in a relationship with this person, you want to make them feel like that their feelings matter. And this goes for men and women. As if you're a guy listening to this, this is like imperative to listen to a woman when she's speaking. As a man, or a woman listening to this, for a man, it's almost even more imperative to listen to your man when he's speaking, because men are taught not to communicate their feelings. So if you shut them down or you don't listen to them, then it's going to ruin, they're going to feel like they can't communicate. They're going to feel like they can't be open with you. So that's the first step, you guys. Listen closely. Listen closely. What are they saying? What's bothering them? Suspend all of what you have to say. Don't be thinking about what you're going to say when they're done. Don't be trying to cut them off and all this other type of stuff. Listen. What are they saying? Now, after you're done listening, consider their perspective. This is the second thing to do. Consider what they're saying. Now, I know for me, I'm kind of a know-it-all. I'm just going to put it out there. I feel like, well, I know what you meant when you said this, and I know what you meant when you did that, and I know all this stuff already, so everything you're saying is already wrong and irrelevant, right? But that's not the case, and it's really arrogant to think that way, to think that you know what everybody is saying, or know what everybody is thinking, or know what someone is thinking when they're expressing their feelings to you, or what they really meant, what their underlying was, So you want to actually consider their perspective. Where are they coming from? Is it possible that even if, like I said, even if you don't agree with what they're saying or you don't see it the way that they are seeing it, is it possible that maybe something you said or maybe something that you did could have been taken a different way than what you meant it? There's always that discord of, okay, when I said A, B, and C, I meant it this way. When you say A, B, and C, you mean it this way. And we're so focused on, well, this is what I meant, or this is what I interpreted. We're not seeing what the other person actually meant or what they interpreted. We're just so focused on, well, I'm right and you're wrong, and that's not what it was, instead of seeing, well, whatever it was, I interpreted it this way, or they interpreted it this way, they're feeling this way. So consider their perspective. Consider where they're coming from. Again, suspend what you think it is. Suspend what you think the underlying thing is, and what they meant to say, and reading in between the lines, and, the last guy that said this meant that. Leave all that to the side, and actually, once you're done listening, consider, is there a way that maybe I took this the wrong way? Is there a way that maybe I said something the wrong way? Is there something that I may have done, to perpetuate this argument? Is there something that I can do now that can help the argument, instead of trying to be right all the time, right? And the last thing is to respond compassionately. Again, being right, you guys, pride is definitely a killer of love. Pride and love are actually opposite, because pride is about maintaining your image, and love is about, giving selflessly to another. So when you can respond compassionately after you've listened to what they said, you've considered what they're feeling, you've considered where they're coming from, you can respond in a compassionate way, right? So then you can say, okay, you know what? When I said A, B, and C, I hear, because I was listening closely and I was considering your perspective, I can hear that you took what I said a different way than what I meant it. And I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. Get in the habit of apologizing, you guys, men and women. Men and women both say neither of us apologize. Just be the one, be the bigger person. Start apologizing, not because you may have not done something wrong, but because they felt away from what you did. So even if that wasn't your intention, it's like if you step on someone's foot by accident, you're like, well, I didn't step on it on purpose, I don't need to apologize. But their foot still hurts because you stepped on it. Their feelings are still hurt because of whatever. So respond compassionately. Let them know, hey, I hear where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. Where you see this, where you said that, I see what you meant by that. And I'm sorry that I caused you to feel that way. Is there a way that I can help you feel better? Is there a way that I can help you understand better? Is there a way that I can word things in a way that we can understand each other better? And when you do all these things, you have to be able to do all these things. If you don't listen and you're already assuming that you know everything, then you're not going to consider their perspective, and you're absolutely not going to, respond compassionately, because you don't care. You're so wound up and caught up into what you think and what you think, that you're not going to listen to what they say. So you're not going to consider their perspective if you don't listen. You're not going to respond compassionately if you haven't considered their perspective. So you really have to do all these three things: listen closely, consider their perspective, and respond compassionately. And if you've made it all the way to the end of the video, you're awesome. Like, comment, and share if you think that you have friends that will benefit from this. And I want to leave you with a thought from actually a Buddhist monk. It was an interview with Oprah, and she was asking him about relationships. And he said, when you are in an argument with someone, you're in conflict with someone, you are both suffering, right? The person is already suffering. So by you trying to attack them and point out how they're wrong and tell them how this isn't the right way and you're perpetuating their suffering as well as your own. And instead of doing that, come to the person and say, I see that you're suffering. How can I help you suffer less? That is the ultimate way to show ultimate compassion. And nobody can really come back with an argument or a fight if you're asking them, how can I help you suffer less? So I'll leave you guys with that. And you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And I will talk to you all in the next video.